Hello, fellow Voyagers. Jess here with Odyssey Human, here today to talk about it's easy to persist at this level. So, welcome to the channel. This is the place where we explore the outer reaches of human consciousness and experience so you can be a masterful manifester, get what you want, and love your experience. So, if that sounds good to you, go ahead and subscribe. I make new videos every week, and I'm on location in Pennsylvania today for the holidays. So a little bit new set today. I want to talk about persistence because it's such a hot topic in the manifesting community. And let's unpack it. Let's totally unpack it and so you can get to the meat of it because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding still. So what is persistence? When we say persistence, when we talk about from a manifestational perspective, it's actually reconditioning yourself. Right? That's really what it is. It's habit change. You're changing a habit. And I think the word persistence, when people hear it, it implies a lot of toil, a lot of effort. And so think about the habit change that you've done in your life. You know, the habits you've changed. Was it hard? Was it easy? Probably a mixture of both. You know, some were easier than others. And there's a reason for that, and we'll continue unpacking it here. So if persistence feels like work to you, if you're just kind of exhausted by your manifesting techniques, if you're just kind of tired, I'm hoping this video will really help you and resonate with you today. That's my intention. So when we're persisting, we're changing a habit of thought, behavior, or state. And a useful way to think about this is actually identity. Now, typically with persistence, you do hear, just change your self-concept. And this is, some of these words are just, for me, and they always were hard to understand. And so what's your self-concept? It's essentially your identity. And so let's talk about this from identities. An identity is kind of a package deal, right? It's an entirely new character. And when you take on a new identity, your behaviors are going to change automatically. Your thoughts are going to change automatically. Your habits are going to change automatically. So it's a way to kind of fast track habit change, right? So there's different, and remember, there's infinite ways to change a habit. The actual habit cycle, and I've talked about this in other videos, but I'll put a link to the book in the description box, but in The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, there's a habit cycle, right? A habit is essentially, there's a cue or a trigger. You do the behavior, whatever the behavior is, and then there's a reward or a payoff. And then the circle continues. So the next time you get the cue or the trigger, you do the behavior. So what habit change is you're changing the behavior. So you still get the cue or the trigger, whatever it is. And it might just be the desire for the thing you want. So instead of doing whatever you were doing that was creating your 3D reality, persistence is changing this piece, the behavior. And so there are many ways to change that piece. There are many ways to persist. There's actually an infinite number of ways to persist. In last week's video, I talked about, everything is simultaneously true and not true at the same time. I'll link that video above. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's one of my most popular videos. So remember, I'm going to give you 3 ways out of an infinite number of ways to persist, but 3 ways that may feel more easeful for you, and so check them out, see if you're like, oh, I could do that. This will make things easier for me. So, and I want to clarify, if you're feeling like you're putting a lot of effort in, if you're exhausted by manifesting, it's because you're having split identities. So when the cue or the trigger comes up and the behavior, you're having 2 different identities. You want to be someone who believes, or you want to be someone who thinks, oh yeah, I already have my desire, but deep down, you still don't believe that. So you're holding 2 simultaneous identities of like trying to be the other person, but deep down you're still doing the behaviors, having the thoughts, and experiencing the emotions of someone who doesn't have it. And so that's where the exhaustion comes, because you can only, when you're fully in an identity, it's just the circle of habit is just going to, it's just going to loop and loop and loop. That's what habits are. They become kind of invisible to us, right? They're so ingrained that they're automatic. And so you want to fully emerge into that new identity, fully commit, fully surrender. So let's talk about ways how we can do that and make persisting easier. So, because we're reconditioning ourselves. How do we recondition ourselves? How do we change a habit? So, number one, repetition. Repetition. So this is the way that will feel exhausting if you have those split identities. If you feel like I don't have this and I have to do this habit in order to be the person who already has the thing I want. That's where repetition gets really tiring. If you've been doing repetition for months, weeks, years, that's where people get burnt out. So how do we make it easier? Let's take an example of going to the gym. Say I want to be someone who's healthy. That's my desire. I want to be someone who's healthy. And so I start incorporating I know, okay, if I go to the gym, I will get lean. I'll get, I know for myself personally, this is a personal example, that I'll get trim and healthy, and then I can eat. I feel like I can eat what I want. So how do I use repetition? I go to the gym every day. I make 30 minutes to go to the gym every day. And eventually, a few months into that, I suddenly I kind of one day I'm like, oh, I'm someone who's healthy. I go to the gym. Like, it's kind of like you're going to go to sleep in the repetition. I call it go to sleep because you're not focusing so much on the outcome, right? I don't go to the gym every day and look in the mirror. I'm like, am I skinny yet? Am I thin yet? No, I just, you go to the gym and just focus on doing the stuff at the gym. People watching, lifting the weights, and then you kind of move on with your day. And then eventually, over time, the repetition of that habit kind of anchoring into your identity, you're going to identify as someone who's healthy because I'm like, well, I go to the gym and I eat well, and like it just kind of takes hold kind of quietly in the background. And again, there's not a lot of effort with that besides just doing the habit, just showing up and doing the habit. And I've talked about this in other videos where if you just focus on the process, the outcome is going to come faster. And so if you're just like, I'm just going to go to the gym, I'm just going to be someone who goes to the gym, and whatever happens from there, you're going to find that the gap, that essence of time, is going to close. And you're going to realize, like, wow, I'm healthier than, even faster than I thought, because I'm not going home and looking in the mirror every day or weighing myself and making sure that it's working. I'm just my focus is on doing the habit consistently and then enjoying the rest of my life. And it will take hold. The repetition will change your identity, and one day you're going to be like, oh, well, I'm healthy, because you've been doing this habit, and to you've committed to yourself and to the process. So that is one way to persist. That's pretty simple. You just show up for that habit. Number two, being super committed to not being that person anymore. So when you're super committed to not being the old identity, right? Let's take the gym example. So when I see a picture of myself and I'm really disappointed and I'm like, I am not that person anymore. This is where habit change can happen instantaneously, right? This is how people suddenly stop smoking. Like, let's say if someone in their family dies of lung cancer, or they see one of those gross smoking PSAs and they're like, whoa, that's not me anymore. That intrinsic motivation of like, I am not that person anymore, makes it easier to then stop smoking, start going to the gym, whatever the new habit is, kind of instantaneously. And it feels more like a choice. Like, there's so much motivation behind it. And so think, if you are exhausted with manifesting or persisting feels hard, let go of that old identity, because it is tiring. It's tiring to keep hanging on. It's like hanging on to this big piece of baggage, but yet trying to, you have the other hand in the new identity. So let go of the old one. Just let go. Let it go. You don't have to do that anymore. Um, and there's not a lot of effort in that, right? You've already kind of decided, you made a decision to be this new identity. Fully get into it. So for the gym example, um, you know, I see that picture of myself and I'm like, never again. And I start going to the gym and I just I totally get into it. I'm like, I am a healthy person. I am healthy. I'm going to the gym. I'm not going back. I'm not being that person anymore. You know, I'm done. I'm done with that old identity. I don't do the things that person does anymore. I don't do it. These new habits are what are important to me, and you fully surrender to that new identity, and you live it and you be it and you do the things that that person would do. But you're not trying to do. If you're trying to do that, that's where, again, the exhaustion is going to happen, because when you're trying, it's like you're the old identity, but you're trying to put on a mask. You're putting on a mask, and deep down you're still the old version. So I hope this makes sense. The third way to that's really kind of effortless is acknowledging that you're the creator of your reality, like really acknowledging it. And it can be as simple as you just declaring yourself, I am healthy. I'm healthy. And then you declaring that that is true automatically, instantly, in that moment, it becomes true. No matter what the evidence in the 3D is showing you, it's true for you. And as you just it's not even a maintain that. You're just like, that's it. You just like, I am the center of my reality. And it's true whether the evidence isn't presenting itself right now yet. It's a very powerful place to be. I think of the visual in the movie The Matrix. I've been mentioning the Matrix movie a lot lately, where Neo, he's trying and trying and trying, and then suddenly it like clicks for him, and he's just like, the bullets are coming at him, and he's like deflecting them, but he turns his head like it's totally effortless. And that, when you're gonna have a realization, if you're not already there, of like, that's all I have to do is say, I am this. I am this. And it's true, whether you're doing the behaviors or not, whether the evidence is there or not, and because waking 3D reality is consciousness. Everything you experience is consciousness. And just like in a dream or in your imagination, 3D reality will mold and shape around who you say you are. And so, just like in a dream, if suddenly I'm like, I'm a queen, and I'm lucid dreaming and I know I'm in the dream, and then all of the imagery of me being a queen is just kind of there. Or in my imagination, I'm the queen, I am the queen, and I suddenly have a crown on, and you can do the same thing in normal waking reality, because it's all consciousness and it's all responsive to you and who you say you are, because you are the center of it all. Everything is you. You're in a hologram where everything is you. So you have the luxury of just being like, I am this. I am fit and healthy. I am. Doesn't matter what I look like, because it's a dream, it's imagination, and it's going to shift and change and mold around what you say you are. I hope that makes sense. I hope this, helps you persist a little easier, because there's different ways to claim your power in all of these options that I gave you, and a little bit of different perspective that will help make persistence easier for you. And the only effort, remember this, the effort comes in believing that there's something separate, that there's something out there you're trying to change, that you have to have the evidence of it. No, when you're the creator, you get to say, I am this, and then you are it. That's it. period. You are it. You are it. like, but it's when we say, I am this, but I'm waiting on the evidence to prove to me that that's true. I'm waiting on someone else to prove to me that that's true. I'm waiting for, no, not when you know that you're the center of it all. Because it's all you all the time. There's no separateness. There's nothing outside. There's no, yeah. So that's where the effort comes in. When you're trying to claim that power, but not fully stepping into it. So fully grab it, fully step into it. Happy holidays. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys next time.